Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Game 3 of our 4-game slate today. Day 1 of the District 8 Men's Basketball Championship Tournament. We'll have Day 1 of the Women's Tournament tomorrow, but our game at hand now, Tallahassee and the State College of Florida going to square off. And Tallahassee out of the Panhandle Conference, a team that is used to playing it here at Raider Arena against the State College of Florida, led by head coach Tom Parks. So I'm Jake Mitchell, and Mike Rideow joins me. And Mike, we're set for what is going to be a really interesting Game 3. But before we get rolling on Game 3, let's just take a second to exhale and say, man, we've had a crazy first 2 days of basketball. So we welcome you into our broadcast position over here on the far side of the court opposite the benches. I'm Jake Mitchell. Again, he's Mike Rideow. And Mike, 2 crazy games set for what could be a third.
Yeah, we've had one nationally ranked team go down. In fact, the #1 team in the country. And we had another nationally ranked team, College of Central Florida, get taken into overtime before they were able to beat Broward 106-103. So State College of Florida has to be feeling pretty good. Hey, if Gulf Coast can do it, why not us? It is, after all, March Madness. So sit back and enjoy it, because the first 2 games, if they're any indication, we're in store for another good game.
Tallahassee, a team that I've had a chance to call a few times this year, and they're a fun team that plays loose, that plays free. They shoot a lot of threes, and offensively they're given a lot of freedom by their head coach, Zach Setembre, who's, again, been someone we've had a chance to talk to several times here with Emerald Coast TV, and now they're set to take on a State College of Florida team that, you know, I look at kind of the seeding here, and you've got the #1 team in the country, you've got the #18 team in the country in the top half of the bracket. This Tallahassee team ranked 10th, so the State College of Florida is the third kind of Cinderella that we've had a chance to see today, where they're going to play a highly ranked team, and we'll see if they get a chance to pull the upset. But what we've seen in the first 2 games is, at the end of the day, if you're the State College of Florida, if you're playing the better team than you, the strategy that's been implied or employed today by a couple of teams has been shorten the game. And if you're the State College of Florida, I think this game follows a similar path against a Tallahassee team that shoots the 3-ball pretty well.
Well, the one thing about the Manatees is they are playing their best basketball, and they've really done it over the last 3 weeks. They finished 3rd in conference play, but they won the conference tournament on the road to advance to state. They went 5-7 in the Suncoast Conference, and Tom Parks, only in his 2nd year, has done a really good job. Combined record of 39-26, which actually is the best 2-year total in over 20 years. Back-to-back appearances in the state tournament. First time in a number of years that they've been able to do that. So again, you want to be playing your best basketball at the end of the season. Tallahassee, meanwhile, 25 wins this year, 9-3 in the Panhandle Conference. They were champions of their conference, so they feel pretty good about their chances in this tournament. And of course, you know, they get the, I guess, if you will, the easier bracket, because there are no nationally ranked teams in their bracket other than themselves.
Jordan Guest gonna tip for the Eagles. Starting 5 for Tallahassee, you've got 22, DeAndre Golston, number 23, Jordan Guest, number 3, L. Ellis. His dishes inside and almost lost by the Eagles, but it is after a couple of bounces, it's finally the Eagles that hold on to it, but also number 5, Calix Stevens, and number 11, Tariq Silver for Tallahassee. For the Manatees, kick to the corner, Calix Stevens, he's short. And out of bounds. So starting lineup for the Manatees going to be 22, Marshall Kearing, 0, Isaiah Dasher, number 1, Remy Robert II, as well as number 5, Demoy Hodge, and rounding it out is number 4, Christoph Scarborough. So those are the starting lineups as we get rolling in this one. No score early on. Crossing half court there was Jordan Clark. Kick up to Kearing now. Back to Scarborough. Scarborough gonna take. Scarborough, the first 2 points of this ball game. Ellis crossing half court. Ellis off the guest screen. He pulls up from the top of the key. He's no good.
Another note about this Tallahassee Community College team, Zach Settembre is their head coach. In his first year, he was named the Panhandle Conference Coach of the Year.
Golston kicks to Silver. Silver no good. No, the job that Zach Settembre has done at Tallahassee been tremendous, as you mentioned.
And, you know, to be able to win the conference in your first year is something that hasn't happened that much. Chris Jans, former Chipola head coach and current New Mexico State head coach. Steve Forbes, formerly of Northwest Florida State. Guys that won it in their first year. He's actually the current head coach at East Tennessee State. And Chris Jans, former Chipola head coach and current associate head coach at LSU. Those are the only coaches to win the Panhandle Conference Coach of the Year in their first year. So Settembre's done a nice job.
Gathered by Kalik Stevens, blocked by Kearing, now almost put back by Silver, but Silver can't get it to go. Jordan Clark, and Clark's going to take it all the way. It was he and Demoy Hodge that were working together. Now, you mentioned that stat. What it sounds to me like is that Zach Settembre is headed for bigger things at some point.
I think so, too. I mean, based on you look at the other coaches and where they're at, so you never like to think of it as a stepping stone to the next level, but really it is, right?
Calvin McCuthan good there. Clark kicks inside to Scarborough. Scarborough now outside. He kicked to Isaiah Dasher, and Isaiah Dasher converted on the three, an early 7-2 lead for the underdogs.
Isaiah Dasher, dynamic score, just 20, actually 18 points away now from 1,000 career points. He's a two-time first-team All-Suncoast Conference selection.
Stolen away by Demoy Hodge, and Hodge gives to Kearing, and Kearing slams it home in the face of Jordan Guest.
We have seen some posterizing dunks today. A lot of athleticism on this first day of the state tournament. Kearing is from Perth, Australia. He leads the state in block shots, but he's showing his offensive finesse there. So one of the best forwards in the country. He had a big game against Polk State to go to the state tournament. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 6 blocks, and 4 assists.
And you talk about that electric dunk that we just saw. I encourage all of you to visit the Twitter account, Region 8 Hoops. That's the Roman numeral 8, so at Region VIII Hoops. But a couple of highlights up there, including dunk from Game 2, where you had was it Keon Ellis of Florida Southwestern that got so high that he literally stepped on the chest of Cam Holden. Yeah. Of course, it was Cam Holden and Gulf Coast that would take home the victory. But again, the Twitter account Region VIII Hoops, we're going to find one of the biggest highlights today. Tariq Silver now with the basketball. Tipped away, almost regathered by Golston, stolen by Silver though. And the Eagles retain possession, timeout. Zach Settembre not happy with that whistle.
Settembre graduated from Syracuse University. He actually started as a student manager under Hall of Fame coach Jim Boeheim. Coached high school in Louisville, Kentucky, where he's from, for 4 seasons, including 2 seasons at Louisville Ballard.
Jordan Guest had the chance to put it back. He's not able to, but he's hit hard there, and whistle, and the ball will stay on the Tallahassee side.
This will be a foul on Dasher. That'll be his first.
And the big piece of credit I'll give to Zach He's already got the vocal inflection for D1 basketball because everyone in the arena can hear what he's saying. He's ready for the big crowds where you gotta yell at the top of your lungs. Every game we've done that involves Tallahassee this year, by the way, here at Emerald Coast TV, I've always noticed the officials seem caught off guard at first because Zach is so loud and so outspoken, but he's winning, and at the end of the day, this Tallahassee team has been impressive this year. Tariq Silver shooting 2.
He was named Panhandle Conference Newcomer of the Year, first team all-conference selection, a transfer from Division I Eastern Michigan. Again, 2 more teams that put up a lot of points. State College of Florida averages 87.1 points per game. Tallahassee averages 82.9.
And the thing I love about this Tallahassee team as well is number 3, El Ellis, is from Durham, North Carolina, and number 22, DeAndre Golston, is from Gary, Indiana. So when it comes to just straight basketball country, they've got a couple of players out of the deepest parts of basketball country you could ask for. Takes all the way, does Hill there. Nice basket.
Yeah, tough shot there for Hill. He is a Division II transfer from West Liberty University. He has signed with Cleveland State.
Kick outside to Kearing. Kearing takes, he's guarded by Guest. Short on that little hook shot. Eagles looking to counter. It's Yahel Hill that brings it up the floor. Hill over to Silver on the right wing. Batted away. Isaiah Dasher on that one.
The Manatees have had wins over currently 2 current teams that are nationally ranked. USC Salkehatchie, hopefully I'm getting that right, and also the College of Central Florida, plus Indian River, a team that's receiving votes in the national poll. So, as I know, they are playing their best basketball in the last 3 weeks.
Indian River, by the way, going to be in our nightcap. They'll take on Eastern Florida in our final game.
You know,
Jordan Guest from the top of the key as shot clock expires, almost gathered by Hill, and then kicked outside. Now Guest again. No good once again, but there it is, Tariq Silver with the putback.
That's his first field goal. He's got 3. Tariq Silver, Division I transfer, as I mentioned. Unbelievable knockdown shooter. And he's already gotten offers from Oregon State, Temple, East Carolina, Missouri State, Southern Illinois, Coastal Carolina, and Mercer. So he's going to have his pick of where he's going to play at the next level. A lot of talent on display. We've already seen the University of Alabama coach in the house earlier today. Almost a travel there, Jake.
Close. Maxwell Ramos with the ball at the top of the key. Dishes inside. Slammed there by Kearing. Kearing out of Perth, Australia. This is an international roster. A couple of players from Australia, and Ramos, who just checked in out of Venezuela. 15 on the shot clock. Silver hands to Yahel Hill. Hill, nice dish to Silver, but Silver bounced it off the head of Isaiah Dasher somehow.
And then a reach-in foul on Davon Stevens. That'll be his first.
We've reached our first, appear to be official stoppage in this one. 11-7, the State College of Florida leads in the early goings in this one, but again, very early goings here. 13:26 left in that first half.
And again, the guys to keep your eyes on today, Demoy Hodge for State College of Florida, 25.6 points per game. And then also on the other side for Tallahassee, that they kind of spread the wealth a little bit as L. Ellis leads the team at 14.7 a game. They've got a couple other guys in double figures. Women tomorrow should be fun. Men today, women tomorrow. Semifinals for both on Friday, and then the championship games on Saturday.
4 straight days of basketball.
I don't know if I've gotten used to it, or if it has in fact warmed up inside this arena. It was cold this morning.
It was cool this morning, and that was one thing that we talked about a little bit in that break between Game 2 and Game 3, and kind of discussed with a few other of the folks on the other side of press row here. And really humid. May have been the cause for Game 1. Had a lot of slippage and a lot of stops there to wipe up the floor, but back on schedule. This one tipping at 6. And
here in the early going, you look at the stats. Right now, a 62.5% shooting by State College of Florida. They've made 5 of their first 8 shots.
Eric Hester is checked in.
By comparison, just 23%. Tallahassee shot almost twice as many shots, 13, but they've only made 3.
Clark working, 7 on the shot clock, takes all the way, and Marshall Kearing it was that tipped it in.
And here's another stat that jumps out to me early. That's the 5th assist and only 1 turnover compared to Tallahassee, which has no assist and 3 turnovers. Sharing the sugar, that's what it's all about.
On the shot clock as they get set to inbound. It's Eric Hester who gives inside now. L. Ellis working top of the key. Dishes inside, no good. Defense is Marshall Kearing.
And Kearing getting it done at both ends of the floor.
Nice defensive play, but there by Tallahassee now looking to respond. It was Golston. Now he kicks to the outside and ball lost by the Eagles. Jordan Guest checking in along with Calix Stevens. It's DeAndre Robinson and Davon Stevens that will take a seat for the Eagles. Calix Stevens lost it. It's Maxwell Ramos that takes it away. He dishes up, and it's taken away by Calix Stevens there. L. Ellis, nice spin move, and gets it to go home. L. Ellis was guarded by 3 Manatees, and he just split them and took it home.
And that's the first points of the game for Ellis, who was named both the Panhandle Conference Player of the Year and the Freshman of the Year. In fact, he's Tallahassee Community College's first Player of the Year since 2001.
A testament to how good this team is too, because L. Ellis is their primary offensive weapon, but man, they can get it done with a lot of guys on this roster. Jordan Guest gives over to L. Ellis, but it is undoubtedly Ellis that drives the ship of this 10th ranked team.
Yeah, and he's got the big boys looking at him. Already offers from Ole Miss and Texas A&M and Nebraska.
Golston and Guest, neither of them can get it to go. Now Maxwell Ramos bringing it up, and looks like he might take it all the way. He loses it as he's picked up by Guest and Golston. Tries to split them. instead gives to Demoy Hodge, but a travel on Hodge, and the ball will return to the Eagles. Substitution for the Eagles. It's Tariq Silver that's going to check back in. He'll take Eric Hester's spot on the floor. Number 1, Remy Robert II, by the way, in for the Manatees. He's the sophomore guard out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Ellis takes the Stevens screen. Now over to Golston. And Golston out of Gary, Indiana, the heart of basketball country. Silver pulls up, but he's wide right from the top of the key. Approaching the 10-minute mark here in this first half. 4-point lead for the Manatees. Make that a 7-point lead on the arm of Demoy Hodge, the sophomore out of the British Virgin Islands, that knocks home the three-pointer.
He is their all-time leading scorer. He holds the single season and career points record at State College of Florida. 795 points this season, 1393 in his career.
Caleb Stevens gets that one to go. Brings this one back to a 5-point game. Demoy Hodge kicks Kearing. Now Max Bell Ramos from the right. He's no good. Ellis grabs the rebound, but don't have the numbers, do the Eagles. Ellis just going to go to work on Robert. Looked like he stepped out of bounds along that baseline.
Another thing that's impressive about Setembre is the fact that he had to replace the entire team. Someone got assessed a technical foul for Tallahassee.
Zach Setembre was just teed up by the official standing right in front of us. And Zach, this is a situation that we discussed during a regular season game. Does the official on the opposite side of the floor call the tech, or is it the official that supposedly is being the one that the tech is being committed to? Because the official right in front of Setembre didn't say it. I mean, he warned him, but he didn't issue him a tech. So I kind of always disagreed with the official on the other end of the floor making the decision on whether or not it's a technical foul.
Well, so far it didn't cost him. But Setembre did not return one player from last year's roster. He brought an entirely new team in, 15 new players, but yet he goes out, wins 25 games, and gets the Conference Coach of the Year. Impressive. Of the 12 players on the current roster, though, 5 Division I transfers. That usually helps, doesn't it?
Certainly does. A foul call on Ellis.
They've also got 3 Division II transfers, 1 JUCO transfer.
It is that foul call that just over 10 minutes remaining in this first half has caused Zach Setembre to remove the jacket. Maybe the earliest we've had a chance to see all year.
And by the way, in case you are wondering, because yeah, that is a high amount of Division I transfers, the Eagles lead the country .
Ellis bringing it up. He'll take all the way, dish to Guest. Guest tried to do too much, and the ball just slams out. Clark inside to Kearing. Now Ellis gathers. Empty possession for the Manatees. That one called on Jordan Clark. Manatees holding a 5-point lead here in this first half. Ellis going to take all the way on Robert. He gets it to go. Another creative basket from Ellis. Robert kicks out. Lost by Isaiah Dasher there for a second. Guarded by Tariq Silver. He kicks outside to Remy Robert. Robert long on that shot. No good on the putback is Demoy Hodge.
Well, Tallahassee has to feel pretty good about where it is right now. Even though they are trailing by 3, they're only shooting 27% from the floor. And you feel at some point they're going to start putting the ball in the basket.
Well, and it's a perfect timing that you mentioned that, because the 2 Golston misses right there you look at and you kind of say, well, those are shots that should go in, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're the Eagles, I think you keep doing what you're doing and just hope those shots start to fall. L. Ellis working on Robert. Takes the screen from Jordan Guest, tapped away and picked up by the Manatees. Isaiah Dasher, he's going to take it all the way himself. No good. And no good on the putback was DeMoy Hodge. So, but then DeAndre Golston just loses it. Hodge pulls up from 3, and Hodge converts. So, just a lapse of attention there by the Eagles, and they give up 3 points. Now a 6-point deficit for them.
That's the 5th point for the sophomore. He's got the ability to take over games. He's had 24 20-plus point games, including 2 40-plus point games.
Ellis off the Stevens screen. Stevens takes all the way, puts it in, but an offensive foul call. Three substitutions for the Eagles. They'll bring in number 1, Davion Stevens, number 13, Eric Hester, and number 2, Yahel Hill.
We talked about this in the previous game. The Eagles had gone on a 6-game winning streak in the Panhandle Conference, but they got beat in triple overtime by Gulf Coast, which just knocked off the number 1 team in the other quarterfinal, 108-107 on a half-court shot, a bank shot to win it for Gulf Coast.
Another point-blank basket that should go in, doesn't there? Isaiah Dasher just can't get it to fall.
That was by Maurice Gordon, who finished with 11 points for the Commodores in that 75-68 win against the Buccaneers.
L. Ellis driving, kicks outside now to the corner. Calix Stevens, Davon Stevens now back inside. Number 5, Eric Hester pulls up from the left wing. He's short, gathered by Calix Stevens. And Stevens not able to put it back, and neither is Hester. But a whistle there, and looked like Stevens and Hester collided on the ground, but they both get up. Marshall Kearing going to come in for the Manatees, and we'll have a stoppage in play here. So 6:26 remaining, and we had 2 breakneck paced games early in this one. This third contest, another one where 19-13 with about 6:30 left. This has been a more defensive game. It's been a game that both offenses have been a little more frustrated. What's been your biggest impressions from this first half so far?
Well, again, State College of Florida got off to a pretty good start. I think they were shooting just over 50% early. They've hit a couple of big threes in the game. Kearing has had a pretty good start with 6 points for them. And then Tallahassee, it just seems like they've had trouble putting the ball in the basket, only shooting 23%. I think those numbers will come up a bit, but certainly there's some reason for concern. We've already seen the number 1 team in the country go down. It's March Madness after all. So that goes to show you that after that game, that previous game with Gulf Coast State, you got to come ready to play. Tallahassee's going to have to elevate their game in the second half. And with only 13 points with 6.5 to play here in the first half, the offense is the biggest concern right now.
Take a look at the Tallahassee sideline there. They trail by 6. Once again, a highly ranked team is being frustrated here in the early goings of this one. And
again, here's the number that jumps out to me as we look at the box score for Tallahassee Community College. 0 assists, 8 turnovers. You're not going to win any games playing like that.
One, I know in basketball, the number 23 usually a positive one. Not in this case. Tallahassee shooting 23% from the field. That's
23% and then 0 for 6 from behind the arc. but it's still early.
3 of 8 from behind the arc are the Manatees in this one, and talked about it a little bit earlier, but if you're Tallahassee, I think you see that 0 for 6, you see that 6 of 26 from the field, and you say, we just got to get them to start falling.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Just got to keep shooting. Eventually they will.
And if that answer sounds overly simple, it often does, but in this case, quite frankly, there's just a lot of point-blank shots that aren't going in. That's just the way it is, and it's really nothing you can say outside of you have to get those baskets to start falling. Maxwell Ramos going to bring it up for the Manatees.
And it doesn't help when you don't make free throws.
Defense from Davon Stevens there, but ball goes out of bounds, does remain with the State College of Florida. Demoy Hodge long on that one. Davon Stevens gathered the rebound, and L. Ellis will bring it up. Yeah, Hill now with it in the corner. Finds Eric Hester. He kicks to L. Ellis. A nice extra pass by Hester there.
That's 7 points for Ellis. He might start to find his rhythm now.
Maxwell Ramos thought about pulling up, decides to kick to Remy Robert. Bounced off of Calix Stevens and gathered by Davon Stevens. Now Eric Hester passes to Calix.
It's going to be another offensive foul. Yep, and that's number 2 on Eric Hester. So a turnover. She'll give it back to Tallahassee. Again, you shot so poorly in the first half, but you're only down 3 points. Just got to keep playing.
Ramos and Robert working in the backcourt. Ramos guarded by Stevens and Hill. Looks like Eagles dropping into a zone here on that possession.
Now, Tom Parks, when he sent some information to me, he singled out all of his assistants, and I thought that one of the more interesting notes was on David Peck, who he says is the hardest working student assistant I've ever been around as a player or as a coach. I always appreciate that. Guys that are kind of at the bottom and working that hard.
Maxwell Ramos gathers the rebound. What was the name of that assistant coach you said?
David Peck, student assistant.
I would gather that that's a name we may hear again in the future. Seems like every coach you talk about from the top to the bottom, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whatever it may be, they always get their starts as assistants. So Ramos short on that foul shot.
And he's looking for his first points of the game. His dad was a McDonald's All-American, played for Georgetown with Dikembe Mutombo. He's been averaging over 7 points per game during the month of February. He speaks 2 languages, English and Spanish.
.420 remaining in this first half. Yahel Hill working on Michael Gavin. Now Jordan Guest, no good, and it's gathered by Kearing.
Look out.
Ooh, a hard pass cross court. And looks like DeAndre Golston over on the Tallahassee sideline had to jump out of the way.
I keep thinking we're going to have one of those. We had just kind of dribbler over to us earlier, an easy one that Jake was not able to play.
And actually was the reason that we didn't catch it cleanly. So.
Right.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a player here shortly. I don't think RJ to our left would be too happy about that. All the equipment set up over here. His face gets red next to me just thinking about it. Michael Gavin with it. 3:30 remaining in this first half. Gavin back over to Demoy Hodge. Inside Gavin. Nails it, does Michael Gavin. A big three-point shot to stretch this one back out to a 5-point margin.
That's the first points of the game for Michael Gavin, who was the 3A player of the year for the state of Florida. He's from Lake Mary.
Oh, how about Ellis again? Right-handed layup from the left side, and he's made a couple of those early on.
I think that tap's going to go to Scarborough.
I believe so. Christoph Scarborough. Now Ellis with it in this final few minutes of this first half. Leave the whistle on number 5, Demoy Hodge there. Davon Stevens will check in, so Jordan Guest taking a seat. Ellis going all the way. Not able to make it that time, but he draws the whistle, so he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, it was Hodge again.
The success rate on possessions in which Ellis just drives to the basket opposite side has been near 100% in the early going here. Ellis is, even when he gets in the air, he's such a creative scorer. He's able to hesitate and adjust. We've seen it a couple times in there. He just went in and drew the foul.
And a good free throw shooter, too, 84% on the year. It's a team that shoots 76.1% from the line. And that's double figures for the freshman here in the first half. Leads all scorers with 10 points.
Good on that one as Ellis brings it to a 3-point margin. 25-22, just over 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Game 3, and tremendous basketball action here today. Haven't had a bad game yet, and it's flying by. I can't believe we're already in the 3rd game of our quadruple header. Michael Gavin kicks to Dasher. 3 on the shot clock. Dasher pulls up. Dasher no good. And because it didn't touch the rim, shot clock violation.
So here's Tallahassee, which was shooting, what, 22-23%, with a chance to make it a 1-point game or tie it up with 2 minutes to play in the half.
29% from the field, 12% from behind the 3-point line. And they turn it over on that possession. Michael Gavin all the way. Gavin wanted to dunk it home, just lays it in.
Gavin averages 4.8. He's got 5. That's the 10th turnover for Tallahassee.
Nice basket there from Golston, but turnovers is a big part of the reason that the #1 team in the country fell just a little while ago in game 2 for us today. Florida Southwestern going down in a matchup with Gulf Coast, and they racked up a lot of turnovers as Marshall Kearing gets it to go there.
He's an Aboriginal of Australia. He participates in traditional hunts, dances, and celebrations.
DeAndre Golston gets it to go there. That is one of the coolest things I think about this sport is how many different nationalities you have and how many different cultures that seem to come together. The Raider women's team has a player from Australia, Laura Taylor, and Michael Gavin from deep there.
That's his second three of the half. He has definitely brought a spark from off the bench.
So 15 seconds remaining in this first half. 6-point deficit for the Eagles. The State College of Florida putting up their best shot here and loses it, but ball will remain with Tallahassee. Appeared to go off of Kearing. Davon Stevens not able to beat the buzzer. So once again, we'll have the higher ranked team in a dogfight. 6-point deficit for Tallahassee as the State College of Florida is giving them their best shot right now. Yeah, Isaiah Dasher and Marshall Kearing and everybody else on that squad are, again, like I said, giving them their best shot.
In our first game today, College of Central Florida trailed by 2 at the half. That game ended up going into overtime. And even though Florida Southwestern led by 3 in the game prior to this one, they ended up losing. Number 1 team in the country goes down. And now we've got the number 10 team in the country trailing at the half as well.
So another nail biter here, another barn burner from Raider Arena in Niceville, Florida. We're excited that you're joining us. I'm Jake Mitchell. He's Mike Rideau as we get set for the second half of Game 3. Again, tough to believe we're already at Game 3 of Game 4 today. We'll have 4 straight games of basketball coming to you tomorrow. But as far as the matter at hand right now, Tallahassee trailing the State College of Florida 32-26. We'll be back with you for the second half of action here at Raider Arena in Niceville, Florida. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back in here for the second half of action from Northwest Florida State College, Raider Arena here in Niceville, Florida. I'm Jake Mitchell. He's Mike Rideout, and we've got a great second half of action set here. Tallahassee trailing by 6. So once again, for the third time today here at Emerald Coast TV and this Region 8 or District 8 championship tournament, we've got a top-ranked team in trouble.
Yeah, they're on the ropes right now. But again, they didn't shoot well in the first half. And here's another number that jumped out. I talked about the assist to turnover ratio, which hasn't really improved much. They've got 1 assist now in 10 turnovers. But the concern for Tallahassee is they are 1 of 9 from behind the arc. That's a team that shoots 11.2 threes per game, and they've got just 1 made in this game.
No good is Curing to open the half, so Tallahassee gets a chance as Ellis crosses the half-court line. Tariq Silver working on Dasher. It's tipped away. Golston regathers. DeAndre Golston puts it in. Cuts the deficit to 4, does the forward out of Gary, Indiana.
Golston's got that linebacker body, plays very hard, an elite finisher around the rim.
Demoy Hodge takes the Curing screen. Now he's guarded by a trio of Eagles. Curing takes it. Curing kicks to Dasher outside. Dasher pulls up mid-range and gets it to go.
Well, he's approaching 1,000 points for his career. Now needs 16 points to do so. Averaging just under 16 points a game.
DeAndre Golston, a nice move. Can't finish off the possession, though.
You know, also, keep in mind, Demoy Hodge averages 25.6. He's got 5.
Looking to add to that total. Doesn't get it there. Not even necessarily the shot you look for. A tough mid-range jumper early in the possession. Ellis drives, spins. Curing steals it away, and now Isaiah Dasher, he kicks up to Hodge. Hodge not able to get it to go, but he will shoot 2.
That's another Tallahassee turnover. They've got to take care of the basketball in the second half if they want to win this game.
This will be just the 5th and 6th foul shot, so the big difference in this game and our previous 2 contests is not a ton of trips to the line here so far. Good on that second shot is Demoy Hodge, though.
Hodge shoots 74% from the free throw line. Listen to his points in games he's had this year. 36 against Polk, 35 against Hillsborough, 41 against ASA Miami, 39 against USC Salkehatchie, 35 against Pasco Hernando, 44 against Santa Fe College.
Eight-point margin. Calix Stevens takes all the way, draws the whistle, so pace has changed up a little bit. We're shooting foul shots early in this second half.
Actually, they have Hodge now with 8 points.
So we have 2 spots on the bracket occupied now. College of Central Florida moving on, as well as in our last game, Gulf Coast that pulled off the big upset over the #1 team in the nation, Florida Southwestern. But now it's Tallahassee that is on the ropes, the 10th ranked team in the country. They trail by 7. Isaiah Dasher working. Tipped away by Silver, but Curing regathers. Dish inside, slams home. Christoph Scarborough. Dish inside,
just nice pick and roll.
Home. Sets up an easy basket there. Scarborough just rises up and gets the 2. DeAndre Golston, now Tariq Silver. Silver, dish inside, another whistle, another stoppage.
And a foul going to be called against Dasher. Almost a turnover. But the foul bailed him out.
So Eric Hester checking in for the Eagles. Jordan Guest taking a seat. It was a quiet first half for Guest, no points. Did contribute 4 boards though. Demoy Hodge with the steal. Demoy Hodge loses it as he gets to the basket, and Eric Hester responds by taking away his pass. Andre Golston all the way and goes over top Kearing.
That's 8 points for Golston. Second team all-conference selection. He's a Division I transfer from Kent State.
Hodge went deep, and Kearing on the dish from Jordan Clark extends this margin to 9.
He averages 11.9. He's got 10.
Golston from the free throw line. Golston no good. Gathered by Dasher. Dasher wanted to float it in. Couldn't do it, but ball going to go to the Eagles. Davon Stevens checks in. He'll take out Tariq Silver.
You know, we've noted this throughout the day that there could be as many as 2 at-large teams. No more than 3 can come from this region, but we could have as many as 3 since we have 3 nationally ranked teams. Already one team, number 1 team in the country, went down. You know, they'll get the at-large bid.
Basket there for the Commodores that makes the Manatees that makes this an 11-point basketball game now. So they've extended it to double digits.
Yeah, they've had different guys stepped up. Jordan Clark, that's only his 4th point of the game. Got an older brother that plays on the Furman basketball team.
Turnover by the Eagles, and Isaiah Dasher converts on the fast break basket, making this a 13-point game. So the biggest deficit of the day, of the evening, I guess, for the Eagles. Now 13 points they trail with 15:35 remaining in this second period. I'm Jake Mitchell. He's Mike Rideout. We welcome you back in as we get going here in this second half. And double digits for the Manatees. They've got a lead now, and we talked about this during our second game, in which you had a Florida Southwestern team that was trailing but always trying to fight back, and you had a Gulf Coast team that was trying to shorten the game and hold them off. 13 points. It's too early to play prevent, obviously. You're not going to, in football terminology, you're not going to drop into the prevent defense, but you certainly want to use the shot clock if you're the Manatees down the stretch against a team like Tallahassee that thrives on fast basketball.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much the long layoff has hurt, because Tallahassee hasn't played a game since February the 22nd. Now, it's been since February the 25th for State College of Florida, but at least, you know, they haven't had to wait around as long to play a game. You would think that Tallahassee would be ready to play after they had their 6-game winning streak and that overtime, that triple overtime loss to Gulf Coast State, but it seems like they're a little rusty today. They're shooting 33.3%. I've mentioned repeatedly the number of turnovers compared to the number of assists, and they haven't been able to hit the three-point shot. They're shooting 11% from three-point range, and it's a team that averages 11 threes made per game.
Leader for the Manatees. It's been a balanced attack. You've got a 10-point scorer, 2 8-point scores, a 7-point and a 6-point scorer, along with a 4-point scorer. But leading the way with 10 is Marshall Kearing. He's only got 2 rebounds, but the big man is scoring points. He's 5 of 8 from the field. So Marshall Kearing has been a tough, reliable option inside. El Ellis now to Yahel Hill. He's now got Tallahassee with the 1-2-3 backcourt. Number 1, Davon Stevens. 1-2-3 front court, backcourt combo, I should say. Davon Stevens kind of at the 3 spot, but number 1, Davon Stevens, number 2, Yahel Hill, and number 3, El Ellis in this game.
Dasher just picked up his 3rd foul.
Yeah, Dasher been a big key for this team as Yahel Hill draws a foul, and I believe he was behind the line, so he'll shoot 3 foul shots.
Second foul on Christoph Scarborough.
So Yahel Hill gonna shoot 2.
They can get it back to a 10-point game.
If you're just joining us, we've had 2 fantastic basketball games and a 3rd underway here. And the number 1 team in the country, Florida Southwestern Buccaneers, fell to Gulf Coast. We had a tremendous game where the College of Central Florida held off a late rally, and now Tallahassee is number 10 team in the country, and they're trailing by 11. Travel call there. Tallahassee will get another chance, but this is the definition of March Madness that we've seen today. It has been craziness all day long. We're just getting started. We'll be here tomorrow for women's actions all day, and then we'll have men and women's semifinals on Saturday and championship games, or excuse me, Saturday evening.
Broward had a chance to win at the end of regulation against Central Florida. Couldn't hit the shot. The game went in overtime, and they lost by 3.
Semifinals on Friday, by the way, a correction. Moy Hodge working, doubled by Hester and Ellis. Ten on the shot clock. Moy Hodge gonna take all the way on Ellis. Can't kiss it off the glass. Tallahassee will regain possession of the basketball. Ellis kicks outside to Calix Stevens. Stevens gonna drive baseline. Tipped away by the Manatees. Ball will remain on Tallahassee's end of the floor. Maxwell Ramos checking in. He'll take the spot of Christoph Scarborough.
You know, one of the things that Tallahassee has built their offense on has been spacing, and we haven't seen a whole lot of that today.
El Ellis gets it to go, brings this one back to a single-digit margin.
That's the first points of the second half for Ellis.
Moy Hodge kicks to the corner. Remy Robert able to save it, but turned over. The Eagles now try to counter. Eric Hester no good from the corner. Davon Stevens tried to tip it in with one hand, but he does draw a foul, so they'll shoot 2.
Yeah, they were fortunate there. They missed another 3, but the foul will give them an opportunity to come away with something.
Davon Stevens gonna shoot.
He's looking for his first points.
That was 5th foul on the Manatees, just 1 on the Eagles. So close to the bonus are the Eagles, and that would be a huge boon to their comeback efforts. 13:02 though. remaining in the second half. Demoy Hodge going to bring it up. He's guarded by Davon Stevens. Kicks over to Michael Gavin. No good on the deep shot gathered by Stevens, and the Eagles another chance to counter. Ellis off the Stevens screen. Ellis will pull up from deep. Ellis nails it.
Well, we'll see if that gets them started. That's their first three of the second half. Only their second three of the game. They were shooting 10% behind the arc, and that quickly jumps them up to 18%. That three-point line, the biggest equalizer.
Michael Gavin, right wing. Whistle, though, and ball will go back to the Eagles. So a mistake there by the Manatees, and in a 5-point ball game, all of a sudden, they've got a chance.
Yeah, still a lot of time left in this one. As I noted, that three by Ellis was big. They haven't been able to shoot the ball well today, but yet they're in this game.
%18 from the free throw line are the Eagles, so somehow they've gotten better, and that'll improve the percentage. Tariq Silver from the left wing.
Yeah, you wonder if it was just a matter of time before they got going.
Eagles have dropped back into a zone. Gavin pulls up from deep on the right wing, though. Kearing, how about Kearing grabbing the powerful rebound? Gets his own rebound and can't get it to go.
Well, he's 6'9". He had a height advantage, but you got to finish around the rim.
Two-point ball game now. Yahel Hill drives inside. Yahel Hill pulls up for a floater. He can't get it to go. Kearing brings down the rebound. Demoy Hodge now. Michael Gavin, he'll pull up from mid-range. He's short, grabbed by Silver.
Nobody inside that time to grab the rebound for the Manatees. And after all that, a chance to either tie or take the lead on a long-range shot.
Tariq Silver drives, loses it, but Calix Stevens grabs it. Calix Stevens nails the three, and the Eagles now have a 1-point lead. So a timeout from Demoy Hodge, and
look at Coach. He is on the floor to meet his team.
How about a run from the Eagles, and out of nowhere.
It's funny, isn't it, what a couple of threes can do for you. They've gone up to 30% after shooting 10% behind the arc. And this is what they do. I mean, they space the floor, they hit three-point shots, and they are really get after it on the defensive end. And if we knew that if the shots started falling, they would be tough to beat.
You've mentioned it, the great equalizer is the three-point shot, and we can trail by 10 for most of the game, but start hitting that three, and all of a sudden things change. Now 10:38 remaining in this contest, and the Eagles have a 1-point lead. I'm Jake Mitchell. He's Mike Rideout as we welcome you back into our broadcast position, and the script is completely flipped just out of nowhere in that one, and it really comes down to making your threes.
Absolutely. So they've gotten three different players that have hit threes here in the second half. Ellis has hit one, Stevens, and now Silver. So, yeah, I'm sure that the confidence level may be going up. In fact, we see guys kind of encouraging each other. They're back in this game. So 10:38, a lot of time left to be played. But, you know, the Manatees, certainly the underdog coming into this one. Be interesting to see how they respond after now trailing by one. And I got to say that I steal that line, the biggest equalizer. Billy Donovan, when he was at the University of Florida, would always talk about the three-point line, the biggest equalizer in college basketball. And it has been a big equalizer here in the second half.
And unless you're the Houston Rockets in a Western Conference Final Series against the Warriors, eventually the three starts falling.
Yeah.
You don't often have the 27 straight misses, and in this case, they've started to fall for the Eagles, and that's brought them back into the lead in this
And
one.
if you're a shooter, you just have to keep shooting. Eventually, they will go in.
Demoy Hodge, top of the key now. Over to Clark. Clark inside, Dasher met by 3 Eagles though. Ellis tips it away. Ellis able to hang on to it. A 2-on-1 advantage. Gives over to Yahel Hill. Yahel with a nice move in the air. He reverses and gets it to go home. Now a 3-point lead. Isaiah Dasher pulls up from mid-range. He's long. Brought in by Yahel Hill. Now it's L. Ellis, and the momentum is staunchly on the side of the Eagles. Crossing half court now off the Calix Stevens screen. Ellis gonna go all the way and then kick. Silver pulls up from the top of the key. Tariq Silver nails it.
Remember, this was a 13-point lead for State College of Florida. And now it's a 6-point lead, a 19-point swing.
Demoy Hodge, it rolls out. That was a chance to put a stop to the momentum, but instead Eagles have another chance to build on that lead that they've quickly gained.
And it was with 15:35 remaining that we had that score of 44-31. So just a matter of 5 minutes or so, right?
No shortage of craziness here on this Wednesday afternoon. Not able to go, Jordan Guest, but Tariq Silver puts it back up, and it's Calix Stevens that finally gets it to go. Now an 8-point lead for the Eagles. They have completely flipped the script, not able to go, gathered there, blocked by Guest, and the Eagles have possession once again, and they are fired up. This is maybe the quickest turnaround I can remember seeing all season in terms of a game that it's been a 10-point game one way, and L. Ellis pulls up from the free throw line. Can't get it to go. Calix Stevens wanted to slam it home. Instead, he just lays it in. Now double digits for the Eagles.
That's back-to-back buckets for Stevens, who signed with Indiana State in the fall. He's a D2 transfer from Francis Marion. And another turnover. A double-digit lead after trailing by 13 with 7 minutes.
This is just unreal.
7 minutes ago.
This is unreal. L. Ellis gonna cross half court. Tariq Silver pulls up. No good. Brought in. Looks like Dasher, and they want to finally stop the run. And a blocking foul called there. Yahel Hill. So the Manatees finally, after a 5-minute stretch where everything went against them, they get a call and a chance to slow down this Tallahassee run. I mean, I don't ever think I've seen a stretch like the last 5 minutes. They took a 13-point deficit and turned it into a 10-point lead.
Yeah, welcome to the state tournament, Tallahassee. Glad to see you. You decided to make an appearance.
Demoy Hodge, he kicks over Max Bell Ramos. Now cross court, Jordan Clark. Clark back to Ramos. Ramos long, gathered by Guest. Tipped away by Clark, so ball will remain with Tallahassee. So a 23-point swing we've seen in this second half.
And it could keep growing. I mean, they're playing with a lot of confidence now.
This is night and day to what this game looked like in the first half and even the early goings in the second half. Just a switch that's flipped. Tariq Silver gets it to go in, and the run continues. Now a 12-point lead.
8 of his 11 have come in the second half.
Whistle on Davon Stevens there, got a little greedy defensively. He doesn't seem to have a problem with that whistle.
Boy, September, he really gets out there.
6:58 remaining in this one. 56-44 is the lead for Tallahassee. Jordan Clark tried to adjust midair. He couldn't get it to go, but he did draw the foul. .648 remaining in this one. Still a 12-point lead, 56-44 your score. Put on that foul shot is Jordan Clark. Bring it back to an even 10 if he makes this. And he does, so again, an even 10-point deficit now being faced by the Manatees. Eric Hester dribbles it up. Hester wanted to pull up. Davon Stevens, he instead passes to, and Stevens can't get it to go on a tough basket there. Lost it, did Dasher.
You know, I think with 6:32 to play, you got to value every possession. Each team with 13 turnovers. I'd also like to see Demoy Hodge get a little bit more involved. He's only got 8 points. He averages 25 a game. But he's been absent tonight. They didn't need him as much earlier because they had other guys stepping up. But they need a guy that they can depend on, that they can go to, their go-to guy, to try to help lead them back and give them a little bit of confidence here down the stretch.
Yeah, this is a situation in our last two games, you know, it kind of seemed like earlier on it was the team that faced the trouble and they went to their primary guy and he kind of guided them through the storm. Late in this one, 6:16 remaining in this game, but this is the first time that the Manatees have really faced a storm now. And I think if you're in that timeout huddle right now and you're Tom Parks, I think you're saying, all right, Demoy, it's time to get going. Yeah. If you're the guy, if you're the leader, this is where you step up and this is where you show up.
Yeah, and not so much an issue of a challenge to him, but to the team, because, okay, you've been punched in the mouth. How do you respond from that? There's still a lot of time. 6:16. We saw how quickly Tallahassee was able to make up their deficit. You know, and if I'm the coach, Tom Parks over there in the huddle, I'm saying the same thing. Listen, they went on a run. Let's go on a run again. Let's get this lead back. There's still plenty of time to do that. State College of Florida, though, struggling under 37%. Tallahassee not much better at 38.6, but they've elevated their three-point shooting from 10% to 31%. They've hit 4 threes in the second half, and that's really what ignited this run.
Jordan Clark gives to Maxwell Ramos now. Tipped away by Golston. Golston saves it. Chased down for it, ultimately gathered by Clark, but an effort play by Hester there. Got to appreciate that. Demoy Hodge, no good from deep. Gathered by Kearing. Kearing can't get it to go, and it's collected by Hester. Well, Ellis at the circle now, taking his time offensively. Off the Guest screen.
That last time they switched defenders on Hodge.
Guest long from 3. Hester pulls the rebound down, though.
They put the 6'9" Guest on him. Hester's been guarding him.
Up to Maxwell Ramos, who slams it home and makes this a 8-point ball game.
That's the first field goal of the game for Bell Ramos. Smooth, good finisher around the basket.
Golston, top of the key, 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ball batted away by Kearing. It'll stay with the Eagles, though.
That's 6'9" against 6'5".
DeAndre Golston kicks to Guest. Guest nails the three. Back to an 11-point margin now as this round one contest in the District 8. State tournament, men today, women tomorrow. Winner of this game going to play the winner of our nightcap. Indian River and Eastern Florida going to tip off after this one. Winner of this one will play on Friday at 3 p.m. Stolen away by Hodge. Hodge gets the fast break too, and a 7-point ball game. So now this game has settled into around a 10 to 7-point margin. We've got 3:59 left. If you're the Manatees, what to you is the key to cut into the lead? Because now that Tallahassee's established it, they're kind of hanging around that 10-point mark. How do you cut into this margin?
Well, that's an easy layup that might help his confidence a little bit. But again, I say you try to get the ball in the hands of Hodge. That's his first field goal, and we've only got the first field goal of the second half, and we have 3:59 to play. So look how long it took for him to get involved from an offensive standpoint. This is a guy that averages 25 points a game, but you know, Hodge, the school's all-time leading scorer. I think he's the guy that brought you here, and they always say you ride with the horse that brought you here. So I try to keep getting the ball in the hands of Hodge. He's shown the ability to put up points in bunches. He's had 2 40-plus point games this year. Let's see if that easy layup will help him out a little bit and get him going.
3:59 remaining here at the broadcast position. I'm Jake Mitchell. He's Mike Rideout.
In fact, one other note, he's got 10 points. He has not scored under 14 points all season long.
Whistle there on Kearing. So Guest doing a good job to draw a foul. Tom Parks didn't like the call, neither did Kearing. 3:59 remaining, again a 7-point margin. Tallahassee in the white, blue trim. State College in the dark blue, green trim, and a bit of the light blue trim as well. Tariq Silver inbounds to Golston, under 4 minutes. Golston working on Hodge, now Guest. Ellis, the ball. Ellis kicks to Guest at the top of the key. Guest pumps and takes, pulls up from mid-range, can't get it to go. Gathered by Clark, but then lost after 2 Eagles converge on the basketball.
Pretty good stand, though, defensively. So now they're going to get it back down 7 and just keep chipping away. This one's still far from over. Manatees went 5-7 in the Suncoast Conference. They got the invite because they were able to win their conference tournament on the road, in fact, to advance.
Extra stoppage here as floor gets wiped down. We have a wet spot, it appears, on the left side of the floor.
Nothing like we had this morning, though. We had 4 and 5 guys on the floor wiping stuff up. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Clark over to Hodge. Now a nice dish to Kearing, who slams it home and makes this a 5-point ball game.
Well, and that's what happens when you get the ball in the hands of your best player. It draws the defense and gives someone else an opportunity. That's going to be an offensive foul.
Great play from Maxwell Ramos, and now the Manatees making a charge. And taking a charge as they make this run back into this ball game. Now 5-point. Looked like Tallahassee was set to make it their game and run away, and now Marshall Kearing and company have got something to say about it, though. Can't get it done there. Ball gathered by Stevens, and now Ellis is going to bring it up the floor. Under 3 minutes now. Over to Ellis. Guarded by Dasher. Now Silver. Silver takes into the middle, dishes to Davon Stevens, and Stevens gets it to go.
See, that's the difference between the one end when they were quick to put up a shot, the Manatees, versus being patient and finding the high percentage shot underneath with Stevens.
Demoy Hodge throws to nobody, but Ramos gets over there and gathers it. Ramos now kicks opposite side to Dasher, who nails a three-pointer.
Much better, finding the open man on the wing.
So Isaiah Dasher nails a three that makes this a 4-point ball game. 2:11 left in this one, and once again we enter the final minutes of a game today. Tight, can go either way, and a top team that is being tested here in this one. It was College of Central Florida, then it was Florida Southwestern, and now it's the Eagles of Tallahassee.
That puts him 9 points away from 1,000 points in his career. He currently holds offers from the University of Portland, Bethune-Cookman University, Maryland Eastern Shore, and NJIT. 4-point game, 2:11, a lot of time left. This one's still in doubt.
Tallahassee, and see the State College of Florida bench over there. Going for Michael Gavin as they get set to come out for this
and again, it's
final 2:11.
Yeah, it's the first time in a number of years that they've made back-to-back state tournament appearances. They have not won the state tournament since 1985. Tallahassee last won it in 2011. We will have a new champion as Northwest Florida State. The two-time defending champions are not here. They've won 4 of the last 5. But we will have a new champion on the men's side.
We'll reset for you. 5 fouls on Tallahassee, 6 on State College of Florida. So just a few fouls away from the bonus. Both sides. Tariq Silver in for the Eagles, along with number 1, Davon Stevens, number 3, L. Ellis, number 2, Yahel Hill, and then Calix Stevens, number 5. 5 on the floor for the Manatees. Maxwell Ramos, number 15, number 13, Jordan Clark. Demoy Hodge, Marshall Kearing, and Isaiah Dasher. Calix Stevens gathers the clutter and puts it in for 2.
He's had a big second half, 10 of his 14.
Whistle, but they say the foul occurred on the floor. Tom Parks does not like that one bit. Neither does Isaiah Dasher, and that would have been a massive, massive 3-point opportunity in the final stages of this one. Eric Hester going to check in. He brings L. Ellis out. Dasher, left corner, takes all the way, does Dasher.
11 in the second half for the sophomore.
Yeah, Hill working on Demoy Hodge and gets all the way to the basket. What a beautiful ISO possession from Yahel Hill there. 6-point ball game now with over a minute left. Max Bell Ramos too strong. Gathered by Tariq Silver.
Important possession here. They can make it a 3-possession game and almost put this one on ice.
6-point lead, as you mentioned, and timeout by Tallahassee. So with under a minute now, again, a 6-point game. This possession right here, is, you just said, they've got a chance to put it on ice. So Zach Settembre calls that timeout, and I think you're looking at this possession as a chance to
I think
end it with 50-plus seconds left.
Right. I think he sensed the value of this possession, how big it could be for his team, and he wanted to make sure that they got the highest percentage shot, the best look. So he'll drop a good play here, and hope to send Tallahassee on to the next round.
Mentioned prior, but winner of this will play the winner of Indian River and Eastern Florida. That our final game of the day coming up next. It's been a tremendous first day. 3 fantastic games, and hopefully the 4th will live up to that billing. We've got women's action all day tomorrow. Santa Fe and Miami-Dade will start it at 1 p.m. Florida Southwestern and Gulf Coast at 3. So identical matchup in that second game tomorrow, and then Northwest Florida and Eastern Florida at 6, and Palm Beach State and Central Florida will finish it up at 8. But the matter at hand here is, can the Eagles put this one away? It's been a tough one for the 10th ranked team in the country. Davon Stevens pulls up late in the shot clock.
That was a late
good, an
whistle.
offensive foul. Yeah, and as you said, a very late whistle.
I mean, they were probably not going to get the shot anyway because of the shot clock, but there's still hope for State College of Florida. That's also the 4th foul on Davon Stevens.
So there, quick reset of the clock. I think he kind of feigned waving at the ball and didn't touch it, but the clock started rolling. So just a quick reset there, but huge 3 is short by Demoy Hodge. The whistle on Davon Stevens. So that Hodge 3 didn't go in, and now a chance for Davon Stevens to shoot 2, and use your terminology, this one
I think
almost on ice.
I think you hit one here and the game's over.
Would make it a 7-point game, so barring any one of the Manatees doing their best Reggie Miller impression, we could just about be done in this one.
Stevens, a 66.7% free throw shooter.
First rims out, so Manatee's still alive. There's Dasher working, not able to get it.
That'll do it.
Silver with it, and the foul from Max Bell Ramos.
So Tallahassee going to survive and move on. It didn't look good early. With 15.5 minutes to play in the game, they trailed by 13.
Now, if we do get another miss here, there's a small window open for the Manatees, but Tallahassee playing back defensively nails the first in that.
Like you said, I don't see Reggie Miller on the floor.
Yeah.
Give the Manatees credit, though. Tom Parks did a good job of getting this team to the state tournament.
That could just about wrap up this one, and it will, as Manatees lose it, and it's stolen away by Stevens, and Silver will hold it and wrap this one up. So Tallahassee will advance in this one. Another top team faced with a big challenge, but they survive in this one. It was not an easy one, but they get it done, and head coach Zach Settembre and the Eagles are going to advance by an 8-point margin. So, Mike, as we kind of wrap this one up, get set for Game 4, our final game of this first day of tournament action. Your impressions from a Tallahassee team that fought off a very, very game Manatee squad?
They shot poorly, and they overcame that, because then all of a sudden those shots started to fall. They were shooting 10% behind the arc at one point. They only had 1 3 the entire first half. They were averaging 11 threes per game. Then they started hitting those threes in the second half, and I think that's what kind of brought them back to win this one.
So putting the wrap on another great basketball game here on day 1 of this District 8 Men's Basketball Championship. We'll join you shortly as we get set for Eastern Florida and Indian River. Final game of the day for us here, live from Raider Arena in Niceville, Florida. I'm Jake Mitchell. He's Mike Rideout, and we'll bring you Game 4. We'll wrap up the entire day of action, all that and more coming up shortly here. Don't go anywhere. This is Emerald Coast TV and live from Raider Arena.